Most men won't say it out loud, but they feel it every single day. That quiet frustration, the nagging fatigue, the way intimacy starts to feel like pressure instead of pleasure. And then there's the worst part, waking up 3, 4, even 6 times a night just to use the bathroom. You chalk it up to getting older, but something deeper is going on. Hidden low in your pelvis is a small, walnut-sized gland quietly sabotaging your energy, your confidence, and your sleep. It's not cancer. It's not life-threatening. But for millions of men, it's life-altering. And here's the real kicker, most guys have no idea that the answer might be sitting in their fridge right now. Because while mainstream medicine pushes synthetic pills and endless prescriptions, there's growing evidence that a few everyday fruits, when eaten the right way, can shrink inflammation, restore hormonal balance, and help you feel like yourself again. Today, we're digging into those overlooked natural solutions. The kind of practical, research-backed steps that can help men over 60 reclaim strength, restore restful sleep, and quietly rebuild confidence where it matters most. This isn't about magic bullets. It's about real food, real results, and a few smart changes that can start working in less than 24 hours. Let's begin. Tucked beneath your bladder, wrapped around the urethra like a collar, is a gland no bigger than a ping-pong ball. That's your prostate. And when it's healthy, you barely know it's there. But when it starts to swell, even just a little, it can flip your whole life upside down. Suddenly, your body isn't yours anymore. You feel that pressure, the incomplete emptiness after using the bathroom. You're jolted out of sleep by urgency that won't wait. And the flow? Weak. Hesitant. Like turning on a garden hose with a kink in the line. But what makes it worse is how normal it all seems. Every guy over 60 you know probably has some version of this story. And because no one talks about it, you're left wondering if it's just something you have to accept. A silent cost of getting older. But it's not. The root of all this discomfort, the urgency, the fatigue, the hit to your confidence, it's inflammation. The prostate becomes irritated and enlarged. And that swelling presses on the urethra like a thumb on a straw, disrupting everything from urination to intimacy to sleep. The good news? Inflammation is changeable, especially when you stop treating it like a mystery and start feeding your body the right support. Not chemicals, not complicated treatments, but real foods that help the prostate calm down, function better, and get out of the way so you can live like yourself again. And the best part? The first one might already be in your kitchen. The moment you mention prostate issues to your doctor, the same options usually come up: pills to shrink the gland or procedures to relieve the pressure. And for some men, those options do bring short-term relief. But here's the truth most doctors won't say out loud: those pills weren't designed for the long haul. They come with side effects: low libido, dizziness, brain fog, even heart rhythm changes. And they rarely address the cause of the problem. You end up stuck in a loop, managing symptoms instead of healing the root. That's the trap. A swollen prostate isn't just a random glitch. It's a sign your body's inflamed, out of balance, and starving for the nutrients that once kept everything running smoothly. That's exactly what Dr. Laura Berman has seen over and over again. For more than 2 decades, she's worked with men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, retired officers, CEOs, mechanics, teachers, who were all tired of being told that pills were their only option. These men weren't looking for shortcuts. They just wanted answers that worked naturally. And that's when something surprising kept showing up: fruit. Not sugar-laden snacks, but specific, nutrient-rich fruits that target inflammation, restore blood flow, and support the prostate in ways medication never could. Let's start with the first one you've probably seen every year on the holiday table and never thought twice about. They're small, tart, and usually ignored unless it's Thanksgiving. But cranberries, yes, cranberries, might be one of the most underrated weapons in the fight against prostate inflammation. For years, cranberries were marketed almost exclusively for women's urinary health. You've seen the ads, you've heard the suggestions, cranberry juice for bladder infections. But what most men don't realize is that the same compounds that protect a woman's bladder also have powerful effects on the male prostate. It all comes down to one word, proanthocyanidins, or PAX. These plant-based nutrients, especially the rare type A PAX found in cranberries, do something extraordinary. They block the very bacterial pathways and inflammatory triggers that lead to prostate swelling. Not just symptom relief, real, biological change at the root of the problem. And this isn't hype. In a recent clinical study, men who consumed a daily dose of cranberry extract showed a 30% reduction in key prostate inflammation markers. That's not just a number, that's fewer bathroom trips, smoother flow, and better sleep. Another 6-month trial found that men experienced a 25% improvement in their IPSS scores, the gold standard scale doctors use to measure the severity of prostate symptoms. That kind of change isn't just encouraging, it's life-changing. And it all starts with a fruit most men never even considered. One of my patients, let's call him Robert, was 67 when he first came to see me. His eyes were tired, his posture slumped, and his mood? Frustrated. "I haven't slept through the night in over a year," he said. "Every night, it's the same thing, 5, 6 trips to the bathroom. I don't even remember what it feels like to rest." Like so many men, Robert assumed it was just part of aging. Annoying, yes, but unavoidable. He had tried medications. They worked for a while. Then the side effects crept in: fatigue, headaches, and worse. So, he stopped. When I looked over his routine, one thing stood out: he wasn't getting any of the natural compounds that help calm prostate inflammation. So I asked him to try something simple. Just one change: 8 ounces of unsweetened cranberry juice. Every day. No added sugar. No mix-ins. Just pure cranberry extract in liquid form. For the first few weeks, nothing dramatic happened. But around week 6, Robert came back into my office looking lighter. Not in weight, but in energy. "I'm only waking up once at night now," he said. "I'm actually sleeping again. I feel normal. No prescriptions. No invasive procedures. Just one small shift in his daily routine. And Robert's not alone. Dozens of men I've worked with have seen real improvements just by adding cranberries in the right form and dose. It's not a miracle. It's science and consistency, and it works. Here's what most people miss. Cranberries don't just help your prostate. Their benefits ripple through nearly every major system in your body. First, your heart. Cranberries improve how your blood vessels expand and contract, something called endothelial function. That means better blood flow, less strain on your heart, and stronger circulation where it matters most. For men dealing with both prostate and cardiovascular issues, this is a double win. Then there's your brain. The same antioxidants that reduce inflammation in your prostate also help protect your brain cells from oxidative stress, the kind of slow damage that leads to memory loss and brain fog. For men noticing mental sharpness slipping, this matters more than they realize. Cranberries are also a quiet powerhouse for your immune system. Their flavonoids boost your body's natural defense response, helping you fight off infections faster and heal more efficiently. When your immune system works better, everything from your sleep to your recovery improves. And the best part? It's all easy to add to your life. No extreme diets. No complicated routines. Just start with a half cup of fresh cranberries a day, or 8 ounces of pure, unsweetened cranberry juice. And make sure it's truly unsweetened, not the sugary stuff with more corn syrup than fruit. That's all it takes. A few berries on your plate, and for some men, it's the beginning of a complete turnaround. Better sleep, better flow, better days. Most people think of red grapes as a snack, or maybe the thing that turns into wine. But buried inside this sweet, unassuming fruit is one of the most powerful natural compounds for men's health, resveratrol. Resveratrol isn't just an antioxidant. It's a hormonal balancer, a circulatory booster, and a quiet game changer for men struggling with low drive, low energy, and low confidence. Here's what makes it special. As men age, testosterone tends to drop while estrogen creeps up. It's subtle, but it changes everything, from how you feel in the morning to how you perform at night. Resveratrol helps reverse that drift by reducing excess estrogen and supporting healthy testosterone levels naturally. But it doesn't stop there. Resveratrol also activates a protein in your body called SIRT1, a cellular repair switch. This little mechanism helps calm inflammation, protect the prostate, and even promote longer lifespan by reducing oxidative stress at the cellular level. And while resveratrol is found in several foods, red grapes are one of the richest, most accessible sources you can get your hands on. This isn't exotic. It's not expensive. It's right there at the grocery store, ready to quietly support your hormones, your cells, and your strength, one handful at a time. Resveratrol's impact doesn't stop at testosterone. What it does for your circulation alone makes it a must-have in any man's routine. This natural compound helps protect the inner lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium, keeping them flexible, open, and responsive. That means stronger blood flow not just to your heart, but to every organ that depends on healthy circulation, including your brain and your reproductive system. And if you've noticed brain fog, forgetfulness, or mental fatigue creeping in, this next part will hit home. Red grapes support sharper memory, better focus, and more consistent mood, thanks to the way resveratrol shields brain cells from aging-related decline. It doesn't just slow the damage, it helps your mind stay clearer, longer. There's more. Resveratrol also boosts insulin sensitivity, meaning your body processes blood sugar more efficiently. That's crucial for men over 60, especially if you're battling energy dips or weight that just won't budge. The best part? It's incredibly easy to add to your daily life. Just 1 to 2 cups of whole red grapes a day, ideally with the skins on, where most of the resveratrol lives. Or, if you prefer juice, go for 100% pure red grape juice, no added sugar. Want something even simpler? High-quality grape extract supplements are available too. But no matter how you take it, consistency is key. Real results come from small, repeated actions, not flashy shortcuts. This is one of those rare cases where sweet really is smart. A few years ago, I met a patient named Thomas, 67, recently retired, and quietly slipping into a version of himself he didn't recognize anymore. He wasn't in pain. He wasn't sick. But he was tired all the time. His energy felt flat. His interest in intimacy had faded. And he was worried that the man he used to be was just gone. During one of our appointments, he casually mentioned something interesting. He had a few grapevines in his backyard. Red grapes. Said they came with the house, and he'd never really paid them much attention. I asked him to start eating a handful a day, nothing fancy, just fresh grapes, skin and all. He didn't expect much. But 6 weeks later, Thomas came back through my clinic doors with a different energy. His eyes were brighter. His posture was stronger. He looked 10 pounds lighter, but it wasn't about weight. It was about presence. I feel like I got my edge back, he told me. I'm sleeping better. My mind's clearer. And I actually want to move, to connect, to do things again. That's not magic. That's hormonal balance, restored circulation, and reduced inflammation, all from something growing in his own backyard. Simple, natural, powerful. If cranberries and red grapes open the door, pomegranate kicks it wide open. This deep red fruit, known for its jewel-like seeds, has been called nature's medicine by researchers, and for good reason. Inside every bite is a potent mix of antioxidants, polyphenol, and natural compounds that support prostate health, hormone balance, and total body vitality. One of the biggest benefits? Pomegranate boosts nitric oxide production, which helps relax and widen blood vessels. That means better blood flow to the prostate, improved urinary function, and stronger performance in other areas men care about deeply. But it doesn't stop there. Pomegranate is rich in allagitannins, which help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, two of the major drivers of prostate enlargement. These compounds also play a key role in slowing down the conversion of testosterone into DHT, a hormone strongly linked to prostate swelling. In other words, pomegranate helps you hold on to more of your natural testosterone while calming the inflammation that messes with your comfort, sleep, and confidence. And just like cranberries and red grapes, it's easy to get started. The simplest way? Drink 8 ounces of pure pomegranate juice daily, no added sugar, just the real stuff. If you prefer supplements, pomegranate extract capsules are widely available and effective too. Whether you eat the seeds, drink the juice, or take the extract, this is one of the few fruits where almost every part works in your favor. For men over 60, it's not just food. It's daily protection. They might be small, but pumpkin seeds pack a serious punch, especially for men over 60 dealing with prostate problems. Often tossed aside after carving a jack-o'-lantern, these tiny seeds are one of nature's richest sources of zinc, a mineral your prostate craves. Here's why zinc matters. Your prostate contains more zinc than almost any other part of your body. It uses this mineral to regulate hormone levels, fight off inflammation, and protect against cellular damage. But as you age, your body absorbs less zinc, and when levels dip, prostate tissue becomes more vulnerable to swelling, irritation, and even infection. Low zinc equals higher risk of BPH and frequent urination. High zinc equals calmer prostate, stronger flow, better control. In fact, studies show that men with higher zinc intake have significantly lower prostate volume and fewer urinary symptoms. Zinc also helps inhibit the enzyme that converts testosterone into DHT, just like pomegranate, providing a double layer of hormonal protection. And the best part? You don't need a supplement if you start with food. Just a small handful of roasted, unsalted pumpkin seeds, about 1 ounce, gives you nearly half your daily zinc needs. They're easy to sprinkle on salads, blend into smoothies, or enjoy as a snack. Plus, pumpkin seeds are also rich in magnesium, plant-based omega-3s, and phytosterols, all of which support prostate health, improve sleep, and calm your nervous system. So next time you see pumpkin seeds, don't underestimate them. They may be small, but for your prostate, they're mighty. You could eat all the cranberries, grapes, and pumpkin seeds in the world, but if you're still eating this one hidden trigger every day, your prostate might never get better. I'm talking about chronic inflammation, the kind that sneaks into your body through common meals and quietly undoes your progress. And the biggest culprit? Ultra-processed foods. That includes boxed snacks, sugary drinks, fast food burgers, and yes, even some healthy cereals and frozen dinners. These foods are loaded with refined vegetable oils, added sugars, and preservatives that spike your blood sugar and trigger immune responses deep in your tissues. And guess what? Your prostate is one of the first places that inflammation shows up. Swollen prostate tissue isn't just a result of aging, it's your body reacting to the silent attacks from what you eat. Studies have shown that men who consume more trans fats, processed meats, and sugar-sweetened beverages are far more likely to suffer from BPH and urinary issues than those who eat a whole food-based diet. Even worse, this kind of daily inflammation can reduce the effectiveness of helpful nutrients like zinc and resveratrol, because your body is too busy fighting fires to absorb them properly. So what can you do? You don't need to eat perfectly, but start reducing these 3 inflammation bombs from your daily routine. Cut back on deep-fried or packaged foods. Swap sugary drinks for water, tea, or unsweetened juices. Use olive oil or avocado oil instead of seed oils like soybean or canola. Even small changes here can turn off the inflammation switch and give your prostate the environment it needs to heal naturally. In other words, don't sabotage your progress with what's on your plate. Because when inflammation calms down, your prostate finally gets a chance to bounce back. Let's make this real. If you want to feel a difference fast, within the next 24 hours, there's a simple reset plan I've shared with thousands of men. It's not a miracle. It's just smart, focused action. And it starts the moment you wake up tomorrow. Morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Start your day with a tall glass of filtered water and 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds or a handful of red grapes. This combo delivers prostate-supportive zinc and inflammation-calming resveratrol before anything else enters your system. Skip the toast and jam. Instead, eat a soft-boiled egg with half an avocado and a spoonful of cottage cheese. This fuels your body with good fats and protein without spiking inflammation. Mid-morning, 10 to 11:30 a.m. Drink 8 ounces of unsweetened cranberry juice. Not the sugary stuff. This helps flush your urinary tract and starts reducing swelling in your prostate. If you're hungry, grab a boiled egg or 6 to 8 almonds, not crackers or chips. Lunch, 12 to 1:30 p.m. Build a plate with lean protein, like grilled chicken or salmon, plus steamed veggies and a handful of cooked tomatoes or tomato-based soup. Cooked tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that directly supports prostate tissue. Avoid anything fried, breaded, or sugar-loaded. You're building a healing environment inside your body. Afternoon, 3 to 4:30 p.m. Feeling tired? Skip the coffee. Have green tea with lemon, which boosts metabolism and fights inflammation. Pair it with a few slices of watermelon or pomegranate for natural hydration and circulation support. Dinner, 6 to 8 p.m. Keep it simple. Grilled veggies, a small serving of brown rice or quinoa, and a fatty fish like sardines or mackerel. Add a squeeze of lemon or a teaspoon of olive oil for extra antioxidants. Before bed, sip a warm infusion of chamomile or nettle tea. Both soothe the bladder and reduce nighttime urgency. Then sleep. The best healing happens overnight, and this plan sets you up for success. Will all your symptoms vanish overnight? No. But in just 24 hours, you'll reduce swelling, improve blood flow, and start calming your body's internal alarm system, which is exactly what your prostate needs. The key is to keep going, because consistency beats perfection every single time. You've just learned what most men never hear from their doctor, that your prostate issues aren't just a part of getting older. They're a warning sign, your body's quiet plea for change. And the good news? You don't need pills, surgery, or endless doctor visits to start healing. You just need the right foods and the will to act now. We've covered the everyday breakfast mistake that could be choking off your circulation. You've seen how simple foods like pomegranate, tomatoes, and pumpkin seeds can shrink your prostate naturally. And you've got a clear 24-hour reset plan that you can start tomorrow morning or even tonight. But none of it matters if you let this video end and go back to the same old routine. So here's what I'll leave you with. If you've been waking up 3, 4, even 5 times a night, if you're tired of sprinting to the bathroom or feeling embarrassed around your partner, if you're sick of feeling like your body is slipping away, this is your sign. Take the first step now. Rewatch this video, share it with a friend, and try the 24-hour reset, even for just one day. Because when your prostate calms down, your confidence comes back. And when your confidence returns, everything else starts to follow. This isn't just about your prostate. It's about taking your power back, one smart choice at a time. If this video opened your eyes, imagine what the next one could do for your health. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because every week, we're uncovering the truth about senior men's health that mainstream medicine often overlooks. And if you've ever struggled with nighttime urgency, weak flow, or feeling off down there, drop a yes in the comments. Let's build a space where men can finally talk openly, without shame. Like this video if you learned something new, and share it with a friend or loved one. You never know who needs this info today. Until next time, stay strong, Stay curious and take control of your health on your terms.